Okay. I'd like one person from each group to write down the names of the people who are in their group and what I'm going to call a working title for the name of your group. So it doesn't need to be the final name, but just a name that you could use today for your group. So one person from each group, write down the name you want to use for the group for now, and the names of the people in the group. And then if you could bring it to me. And then what I'll do, if you're not in a group yet, I'll just get people to explain what there are. And if your title doesn't sort of give us an indication, okay, when you're writing the title of your group, if the title doesn't explain the general area it is in, agri-tech, health, education, waste, do let us know. Okay, you have 5 minutes, 5 minutes only. Things move quickly.
One name?
It's a working title. Just any name. Any name. A name that
One word or bit word?
No, it can be. Don't make
The
it
way
really
you
long.
want.
Don't make it really long. Less than 5 words.
Thank you.
Good. Okay, good. Okay. If you could bring your... Yes. Okay, could you bring me your sheet with your name, team name, and members? Good. Bonita? Something small? Yeah, like so this is a sort of health sector one. Good. I do. Yes. You just got 10 solutions for now. Okay. Is there an idea? Okay, I've only got 3. Yours to come? teams still to bring me their sheet? I have 4 teams so far. Okay, is there one more group? I have five currently. Is there a group who hasn't given me their sheet? Okay. Can I chase you up? Okay. Can I interrupt the conversations for a moment just to check something? I'm really delighted that you have managed to self-form into groups overnight. That was really well done on doing that. Is there anybody in the room who isn't in a group currently? Put your hand up. Okay. So I've got I think 6 groups, although I haven't got the 6th sheet yet. What I would say is that ideas may develop. So whatever ideas you have now may get more focused, or they may change, and that is okay. But I think you need to have the groups reasonably finalized today. Although you may find just with people may transfer between groups if things happen, but we're flexible. There's no hard and fast rules, apart from you cannot have more than 7 people in a group. And ideally, we want 5 people minimum. And I know we've got one group with only 3 currently, but I think we've got some other people to join, still who haven't arrived or yet to join the workshop. Okay. What I'd like you to do now in your groups is think about a sentence that might say something about what you are trying to achieve with your idea. Okay? So it needs to be a sentence that might attract interest. So for instance, if you had just met me and you wanted to get me interested in your idea, I would like a sentence of less than 10 words that you think would interest me or other investors in your idea. So I'm going to give you 15 minutes in your groups to think of a sentence of less than 10 words which you could say to somebody which would interest them in your idea. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay. So start now. You can move around, use outside, but 15 minutes starts now. And I'll ring a bell when there's 5 minutes left, and then I want one person in each group to come back and to give us that sentence. Okay? Okay, your time starts now, but you can go and work. If it's easier to sit outside, that's fine, because I know it's difficult on these chairs, so feel free to move around. Okay.
Hello, everyone. My name is Leonardo, and uh, I work with Ingrid, Griselda, Fernando, and Julian. There. Our brand is Bonita because we are gonna work with bone repair. So bone. Oh, let me. And Ita, it means rock or yeah, hard or rock in Guarani. So that's our idea we are seeing. And our logo is Bone Regeneration, Cheap and Natural Brazilian Innovation. So that's our idea.
So it's bone regeneration, Brazilian and natural. Well done.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
So that is.
Okay, who's next? Yes? Okay. So this is Hope for Food, yes?
Yeah.
Good.
This one? Okay, I need to say the participant.
Yes, I think introduce your group, say who you are, and then give us your sentence. That was nice and short.
Okay, the name of our project, sorry, is Hope for Food. We basically have 2 4 6 participants in our group. They are Anderson Latini, he works with agriculture, and Daniela, she works in agriculture tech also. Rafael, he's not here right now. He works in materials, and Sandro, he's a physicist. William Costa, he's a computer scientist, and myself, I'm also a physicist. The phrase that basically summarizes what we want to do with this project is reduce the food waste within the supply chain. So I'm gonna write it here. There are 9 words. Within it's supply with double P. Am I right? Yeah? Yeah, it is. Supply. Yeah, that's it. This is in general what enclosed our idea. Okay, thank you.
Excellent. Well done. Okay, and who's next? Hello. So you know the form now. So
Okay.
which group is this?
It's the name
Yes.
with the biosensor,
Biosensor evolution.
evolution. Hello to all. The name of our group is the Biosensor Evolution. Our group has Danielle, it's a physicist. There is Newton, biology. Mariana, chemistry. Aline, biochemistry. We have an engineer, electric engineer, Marcelo, and an advocate from lawyer. Yes. Our group is very dynamic, very multidisciplinary. And our phrase, our sentence is, know your health to improve your life. Health monitoring accessible to all.
Good, okay, thank you. Okay, next. Okay, I've got 2 more groups to go. Who's next? Yes? Okay, so is Silver clean? Yeah, good.
Good morning. Our group is Silver Clean. We have Claudia, she's a computer scientist. Andrea is a biologist. Sonia is a chemist. Flavia is a material technologist. And I'm Luisa, I'm a biologist. Our phrase is cost-effective, safe, and fast hospital tools disinfection. Do we have to write down?
No, you don't need to. No, that's okay. Okay, thank you. Well done. Good. Huh? No. Okay, sorry. The participants want to write it down. Okay. Okay, and oh no, sorry. Yes, one more. Tech solutions. Have you got an idea though? A tech solution struggling with an idea right now. Yeah, but okay. Do you want to? Have I forced you into an idea? Yeah, oh no. This doesn't need to be your final. Okay.
Thank you. Our name is Tech Solutions. Do I need to write it down? The name?
After you said it.
Okay. Our name is Tech Solutions.
So these names are just working titles. You might change them later, or just for this morning.
We produced technological devices to solve general problems, and the people from the group is William. He's a biologist, Wallace, mechanical engineer, me, Julie, physicist, Luis, physicist, Gisela, biologist, and Eileen, nuclear engineer. And we have a portable device to identify many contagious tropical viruses to avoid pandemics, in 10 words. And that's it.
Avoid pandemics. Okay, I get it. Okay, thank you. Well done. Good. Okay. Okay, I'll just show you 3 examples of businesses that I've been involved, organizations and businesses that... Oh, sorry, one more. Who have I forgotten? Who did I miss? Oh, sorry, skin cancer detection. My apologies, sorry. One more.
Hello, I'm Jessica. I am a biotechnologist. I work with Sydney, my partner of biotechnologies too, and Marcelo, the chemical. Our group is Lighting Life. Skin cancer reaches almost 1 million people worldwide. When it's detected early, you have more chance of cure. What if you could detect skin cancer during your routine, your lovely people?
It wasn't 10 words, but okay. Okay. Maybe it is shorter in another language. I don't know. Okay. Or maybe not. Okay. Well done. So the reason for doing these is that time is short with busy people. And if you want to get the attention of somebody to help you, either it's just asking for advice or asking for money, you need to get their attention quickly. And they do not want to listen to lots of technical detail at that initial meeting. So the purpose of this one line is for you to get a meeting. It's for the other person to say, you know what, that sounds interesting. I'd like to know more about that, but I don't have time now. You know, come and meet later, or let's arrange to meet up. That is the objective. And you'll hear me say through this week, start with the end objective in mind. If you have a project to do, think about what is the end objective of that project, and always keep that in mind when you plan and execute what you are doing to complete that task or goal. So I have 3 real examples. Okay, so these are 3 real examples. The very top one, we help ambitious organizations overcome their barriers to growth, was one that I used with FD Solutions. It took us 15, 16 years to come up with that. So it was not a quick 10-minute exercise. And we went through various different iterations, and eventually this is what we had printed on the back of the business cards. And I used it quite a lot in initial meetings where people said, oh, what do you do, Richard? Oh, I help ambitious businesses to overcome their barriers to growth. I need to know more about that. What do you mean? How do you do that? And it was quite a good hook without saying, well, I'm an accountant, I'm a finance director, I do finance direct. That's boring. But this sentence, yeah, so we use that, yeah. So that's one that we use pretty successfully. The second one, a global solution for population health. That sounds pretty ambitious. That is a charity that I'm involved with, which is trying to create a new way of training doctors, primarily for developing countries, so mainly Africa, Southeast Asia. But again, when people say, oh, what does IMED Trust do? Oh, we're developing a global solution, population health. Oh, that sounds big. And finally, this is more recent, and this is a business called DC Byte, and your global data center listing and analytics service. I don't like this as much. This is not, I believe, such a good example. This is almost describing the service without giving you a hook. But I put it up here anyway because this was only developed in the last 6 months. So this is a very recent one. So the top one has been going for 25 years, well, 15 years. The middle one about 4 years, and this last one is only 6 months. It takes time to find the best sentence. But once you have that sentence, memorize it, take it with you wherever you go, and when you have the opportunity, when you're going up the escalator, going up the lift, and you realize that you're standing next to Jeff Bezos or Thiel or Musk or any of these, sort of big name people, you just happen to be in the lift with them, and you say, they say, why are you here? What are you doing? And you say, well, and you never know where it might lead to. So the top tip is, whatever you're trying to do, have a sentence which says what you're doing very quickly, short sentence, and the objective is to get another meeting. Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to hand over to Raghu, and we're going to keep you in your existing groups, and we have another group exercise. Yep, great, thank you.
Yeah, okay. Just have to.
Are you using that same? Is that right? No.
Okay.
Hi, good morning. Hello. So I'm really impressed that you came up so quickly with very good ideas. And what we want to do in this half hour or so is to evaluate and get some feedback for your ideas from your friends right in this room. So before we go to that kind of survey, I want to give you some definitions and some tools that you can use for obtaining that kind of feedback, what we call market feedback, okay, or customer feedback. Can you all hear me? Okay. So first of all, your solutions that you have here, it can be classified into two categories. So one is called market pull, and the other one is technology push. Are you familiar with this terminology? Okay. So market pull is that there's a technical solution, you identified a problem or a need in this market, and you have technology that can provide solution to that. So that's called market pull. And things like this, solar golf carts or solar powered internet things in poor countries. So this is not a solar powered camel. That's a solar powered refrigerator for tourists who want to have camel ride. Okay. So, and then this is a low cost eye examining device. So in the United States, this costs about $20,000. And there was a company in India which makes it for $1,500. They buy parts from educational software, educational tools, okay, instruments. Edmund Scientific, have you heard of that? So they just bought all the parts assembled and they can do it for $1,500. What's $20,000 instrument? And it's being sold in very large numbers in Asia and Africa as well. So that is all market pull. So technology push is something where you have an idea, the market is not clearly identified, nobody is really waiting to look for that solution, but you can provide the solution, identify the need, and then provide the solution, and it can be a big game changer, right? So things like this, in the 80s, Walkman. You're all too young to know what a Walkman is. Okay. So when Sony came up with this, there was no market need at that time. They just found that they could miniaturize the speakers. Before that, it was very fashionable in New York to carry these huge speakers and walk around on the shoulders. I don't know if you have seen movies of that. So it was a very cool thing to have a big speaker. And then Sony came up with this one. They were able to miniaturize it. This was the biggest seller in the market. After that, everybody had this Walkman. Okay. So then most of the Apple products are like that. It's technology push, right? iPhone was not there. Nobody was asking for an iPhone at the time. but the different things that can be done in iPhone, even to date, is amazing. Every time it's a technology push, they can say that we can do this, and there you have it. Right? So, so two different kinds, market pull or technology push. Would like to see how you classify your ideas into that category. Okay. So the next one is the product type and market size. So you have custom products, that is, these are really small contract jobs. So they are not really products, I could say, that you can market to everybody in the world. So these are made to order types, and then there are small volume products, anywhere from 500 to 5,000 units per year. Okay. But they can be a lot of money as well, 500 of NMR machines, right, or MRI machines. That's a big sale. You can make a lot of money with that. Large volume products are anywhere from 50,000 to 50 million per year. Can make some of those, some of the cheap low cost sensors that you can do, or a lot of automotive parts or airplane parts, so consumer products. So those are all 50,000 to 50 million parts. They're classified into large volume products. So think about those categories for classifying your ideas and your solutions that you're providing. Now, yesterday we discussed about buyer persona and customer profile, right? You did an amazingly good job at that one. So a persona is an idealized or theoretical customer. Okay. So it's based upon real customer interaction. So now we are going to do all this for your product. So here are some examples. I'll not spend a lot of time, but this is coffee drinker persona. Okay. So I can read better from here. So what kind of person he or she is: busy professional, age group, what are the goals, market size, and what's kind of thing. Quote, I used to like going to coffee shops, but now I work so much I just don't have the time. So what I want is good coffee, and so on. Again, you see the demographics, that's the age group or the sector of the market. What is it they like? What's the market size? And whether they can be influencers? And what is a typical quote that they might have? So that's the persona that we have. It's not only business to customer, but you could also have business to business. Okay? Or again, it's B2B, different kinds of personas that you can see here. So that's about personas. But here, we also want to do some kind of market research for all your ideas that you have. So the way it is done is by two kinds. One is primary market research. That is, you talk to the customers, customer interview, customer observation, and do the customer's work, user tests and focus groups. So we have done all this for some of our products. It's really important to get feedback. Many times it's very qualitative, but those qualitative inputs should be converted into technical specifications for us to work on. Okay. So that's the advantage of doing these things. The second one is called the secondary market research. That's by industry and government reports. You can get reports. They're commercially available as well, or some of them are free. So a little bit more about customers, because you're going to do this for your products. That is, who is your customers? What is the demographics? I told you in the example that it could be the age group, it could be the income group, or the education group. So that's the demographics. Psychographics, that is, what is the attitude of these groups, different groups? Who is a likely buyer? Who, for example, is it a person who cares about the environment? They are more likely to buy it. Or a person who cares very much about his or her personal health, okay, or personal appearance. So those kind of psychographics. Geographics, where are they located? Are they mainly urban or rural, or particular region? And where do you find them? That's called the watering hole. Where do you find them? Where do they gather so that you can access them and talk to them? Okay. So once you find them, if you want to talk to them, you want to get some feedback, is also what are you going to ask them, right? How are you going to talk to them? You can't go to some person on the street and say, I want some customer feedback. So you have to tell who you are, why you want to engage them, and what are you asking them. So you have to prepare that interaction to ask them questions so that you get valuable feedback, right? So that's really important. The most important thing you want to ask for your projects is whether they are interested in buying it, right? Whether they want to buy it, at what price are they going to buy it, and what is the cost? Is it the cost of producing? Let me go back here. So how do you determine the purchasing price point for customers? So what can they afford? There are two extremes. One is what's called the sticker shock. If you tell them a price, say $500, they will run away from that point. Okay. Or walk away price. Okay. Or what is it that they are readily willing to pay you? That's the minimum price point. Right? Is that clear, what I'm trying to say? So the minimum price is what they are readily willing to pay out of their pocket and buy it without hesitation. And the maximum price is when they run away from you. They say, I don't want to buy it, I'm not interested. Right? So these are really kind of information that you want to get from the customer. Because your business model, all your finance is going to depend upon this number for your projects as well. So what did you learn? You have to summarize it. What did you learn? How many of the customers are willing to buy? If you interview 10 of them or 100 of them, what percentage of them are willing to buy your product for the price you're trying to sell? And what reaction from them surprised you? Okay. So that is, if they say, oh, I just don't want this, I'm not interested, I already have this with me, I have different product, you can't do much with that. Or if they say, okay, give me free, I'll buy 10 of them, that's no value either. So you have to find what the reactions are and what assumption was confirmed and what assumption was invalidated by the customer. Okay. So if you thought that a customer would love to have a laser pointer which is twice the size, okay, and you thought they would like it, but they may not like it. So if they confirm that, if everyone said that they want twice the size of this laser pointer, then that confirms your assumption. And if they say, I only want half the size of this thing for a laser pointer, then it's invalidated, your assumption. Okay. That clear? So the idea is we are trying to get some feedback from the customers for all these solutions you have, for all the product ideas that you have, to validate that there is some market need for all these products that you have. Right? So what we would like you to do, we still have some time, is the following. So each group that you have formed, you'll talk to at least 5 customers, that is one from other group. Right? At least one from other group. And prepare for your interview. What are you going to ask them in this context? Okay. Whether they like their a cheaper bone setting solution, or what kind of biosensor they want, or skin cancer, how many do they want, whether they are interested. How many of them would buy your product? And you determine an approximate price point based on the reaction to your estimate of selling point. Make a guess of the price for these things and find out their reaction. Try to find the minimum and maximum prices. Right? I told you about the sticker shock. When they walk away from you, that means they are not going to buy it. And if they are willing to buy it, what's the lowest price that they are readily willing to buy? Okay. And what additional suggestions or features would they suggest that would be good and they are willing to buy it? Right? They say, suppose they say, I want something else in addition to this, skin cancer detector. Suppose there is an indicator of sun protection factor on those skin cancer detection. Okay? That's the UV radiation levels. So things like that. So this is what we would like you to do, about say 20 minutes of this exercise. And we would like to hear from each group the following thing. What did you learn? How many of the customers were willing to buy your product? What reaction from them surprised you? And what assumption was confirmed? And what was not? All right. So, would it be possible to do that now? I would like you to make your own arrangements, how you are going to schedule it, meeting with each group. Every group has to talk to at least 5 customers. Okay? That's somebody not from your group, from other groups. And get some information that we are asking. Okay. So, you can start now, organize yourselves, talk to them, and come back in about 20 minutes. And we assign one person to tell us what you learned from that. Okay? Then we break for coffee. Okay, by this time you should be walking around, getting some input from others. Okay, please try to regroup in 5 minutes or so. Hello? Maybe you can have coffee and then talk on this too. Okay. We'll come back at 11:30 with everything done.